and welcome back to another Warframe video. So the Rhino Heirloom collection just came out last week, and with it we got a very nice Rhino Heirloom and Signa. So I decided to make a new Rhino level 10,000 Steel Path build, and here we are today. So we'll be covering what I've been using with Rhino Prime for max level enemies and missions, and basically some ideas for you to maybe do something similar to this. I've actually got two builds for you today. The build you see in the footage with Nourish and another red crit focus up for even more damage, but less quality of life, a little bit more focused. Before we go over these builds and stuff, make sure to sub this channel, do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news videos, all that kind of stuff. You're in a place for Warframe content. And I'm going to probably have a Lavos build video out tomorrow morning before the Prime Access comes out, just because it's the right thing to do. So keep an eye out for that one. Alright, so let's get right into the build for Rhino. And yeah, this build is going to be a big damage buffer. And as I said, I do have a second build here, but the first one we're showing is going to be focused for, or not even focused as much. It'll be for all types of weapons. You got primaries, secondaries, and melees. Although it's a little bit more focused on melees, as these melees can be really, really meta and strong. Okay, so hopping into the sim here, we're going to show you how to play Rhino as well for these high levels. Here we are. So for my first Rhino build for you today, I've got Nourish on Rhino. Not necessarily zombie Rhino, but kind of close to zombie Rhino. And we also have the Crescent Vulpaphyla Companion. I never used this thing, but it kind of made sense with Rhino having a battering ram, like, charging companion. So, showing how you can actually survive with Rhino. It all comes down to recasting Iron Skin in time. So we get shot by these enemies. Once our health becomes gray, we want to recast our Iron Skin. With the amount of castitude we have today, we can recast it really, really fast. So it breaks, we cast it again, and we will not die as long as we basically push the button in time, pretty much. That's how you live with Rhino. When they're really high level, they're going to break the Iron Skin really fast, so keep that in mind, okay? So once you're invincible in your Iron Skin until they break it, just kill enemies while you're in your Iron Skin, basically. With the build we're using today, we have lots of damage buffs for all types of weapons, including the Nukor. The Nukor is extremely good for level 10,000s on the current patch, and especially with this build, it is seriously disgustingly strong. So we just re-sub of those enemies in. The Nukor is insanely good on the current patch. It will do this to level 10,000 enemies too. I have literally one-tap level 10,000 with the Nukor on this build. And yeah, it's a magnetic Nukor. We'll show all the builds for this stuff, but I just want to give you an idea of what's happening here. So we can use all of our weapons to DPS this guy. I've also got the Telos Boltor. Since the Boltor is, or the Boltor Prime is Rhino Prime's signature weapon, I want to use the Boltor Prime. Chat decided I should use the Telos Boltor instead because they voted on it. By the way, with this blast build, we can use some AoE procs, which can kind of help out a lot. Now, as far as the largest Iron Skin number possible, this build is not meant for that. I could show you a build that is meant for that. But yeah, mainly this is going to be an all-rounder build for taking out high-level enemies and having a good energy economy along the way. Okay, now that we've shown how this build can work, how you can start as Rhino business recast before you die, let's show how you can replicate this if you do. I mean, it's not exactly the most crazy build ever. Rhino's a pretty simple frame, but I will tell you some of the details that can make this a little bit more exciting. First, I'll start with the Archon Shards. 2 power strength Archon Shards, which are not needed, but you know what is, in my opinion, needed? These 2 parkour velocity shards. Rhino is not a very fast character. These will make him much faster. If I jump around, like, it's a lot further at parkour velocity, and I can, like, roll and stuff, too, to get through these maps a lot quicker. Helps when you're going through a void cascade or disruption to get from point A to point B. And as I said earlier, I got casting speed shard, lets you cast your Iron Skin quicker when your Iron Skin breaks, or lets you recast roar quicker, or stop quicker, I guess you could even do that. Now, as far as the shards I've replaced, I would honestly maybe take these power strength shards off for 2 more parkour velocity, because he is a very slow character. I would like to patch up that weakness. So I did show you the Nourish damage there. I'll show you this other build too. This one can be even stronger, but it's more focused on melee. Now, my build right now is a little bit to cover everything. We got Ready Steel, Naira's Anguish, and Naira's Hatred focused on our Magistar slam attacks with all these melee bonuses. But thankfully, because of Nourish providing viral to all weapons, we can use our Nukor or our Boltor to also kill these high-level enemies. So as far as the build here, we've got Nourish to multiply our energy regeneration, and Energy Nexus to give us built-in energy regeneration. With this, and Nourish, we have about 10 energy regeneration per second before Molt Augmented. Since we don't have Prime Flow on the build, we got the Arcane Battery Arcane. If you watched my video yesterday, you might have heard me talking about this. You gain maximum energy depending on how much armor you have, up to 1,000 energy. So we've got Rhino's Umbral Fiber. We've got 657 armor. So take it off, we lose like 200 energy. It's like getting 200 energy for an Arcane. Now you could run Arcane, or you could run Prime Flow instead, but for me, I liked having this. This is enough energy to do what I need to do in these missions and recast Iron Skin when it is needed. But yeah, basically all power strength, all duration, and then some slim attack stuff too. You might notice the exact same build is on the Red Crit build too, but the difference is it's Wrathful Advance from Kalervo, giving us 339 increased melee critical chance. Pretty good, honestly. So we can go ahead and show that. Same build, just different helmets. It got worse energy economy, but it's got more slam damage technically. So do that, and they're gone. Now the other build can do that too, but the other build will not be as good for specifically that. This build will be worse for guns, because it will not buff the Nukor at all. But yeah, that slam attack on there is going to be really, really deadly. And it can still do a decent job with the Nukor with no red crit, or with no Nourish viral stuff. But yeah, it's more focused on the Magistar for this build. But yeah, still good either way. Yes, moving on past that. Let's move on to our weapons now for our Rhino loadout. And of course, there are other things too. So one thing with Rhino is if you're trying to get some finishers, his passive, where if you drop from like a high height, it will knock enemies over, this enables finishers. And if you use the, what is it called, Heavy Impact mod, which I've never used on him, it apparently makes the AoE of his passive 14 meters, what people in chat were saying. This could be an easy way to get some crescendo stacks. That being said, just do a jump kick instead and don't waste a mod slot on that. But yeah, moving on to the Boltor, here with the Telos Boltor with a blast build. So the Incarnate perks are Hunter's Mantra, Rapid Reinforcement, and Elemental Balance. We've got a 140% crit chance and 108% status chance. As far as the build, I would not recommend Primary Crux for level 10,000. I should have used Deadhead there, but Primary Crux is great for low levels. But as far as the build, it's a Blast Proc build to stack up lots of Blast Procs really fast. When an enemy has 10 Blast Procs, they explode. And Blast Procs are pretty nice. So as far as what we got here, that's all it is. The Riven is multi-shot punch through crit chance minus ammo. Not a very good Riven, but it gets the job done. And yeah. Now the Nukor, this thing was good. This thing was really good when we did that level 10,000. I've got a magnetic Nukor here. And as far as the build, it is Corrosive and Blast. Since we have a magnetic Nukor, we have magnetic as well. So it's Radiation, Magnetic, Corrosive, Blast. The hidden special effect of Microwave with a Nukor. And if we have Nourish on, like this build does, we'll have Viral too. So lots of procs, lots of debuffs, and lots of level 10,000 dead enemies very quickly. And yeah, really, really good build here. As far as the Magistar, I decided to use the Magistar because if you didn't know, Rhino Palatine skin actually has a hammer skin. So Rhino is meant to use hammers to a degree. That's my excuse this time, guys. But yeah, for the Magistar, typical Magistar OP stuff here. Corrosive damage, galvanized, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I could have probably put more crit on here too if I wanted, but this definitely got the job done. Now, I got Melee Crescendo on here. This was not needed, really. I'd probably run Exposure. Actually, no, he doesn't cast that many abilities. Crescendo was okay, but the thing about Crescendo is that it needs to get finishers to stack it up. So there's multiple ways to do it. One of them being Rhino's passive. So let's see if I can just get that to work. I'm not the best. I'm not a big Rhino player that much, but yeah. Rhino's passive can enable finishers if you land on them, basically. That's where Heavy Impact mod could help. So I land on them, finishers enabled, but you can just do the same thing like this with a jump kick. So you don't need to like land on them with Rhino's passive if you just do a jump kick instead. Now jump kicks can be annoying to do, but also doing this is kind of annoying to do too, so. Yeah, our Crescendo stacks and our Infinite 12x, we do that. Once we do the finishers, we have Infinite 12x. We'll do a heavy attack, it will come back immediately, and it will be really, really easy to just kill high level enemies. Yeah, so that's going to be Magistar as far as the perks. Edge of Justice, Seismic Slam, and Critical Parallel. Seismic Slam makes the AoE of this thing so gigantic you will kill enemies on a different floor than you in Void Cascade. And as far as the companion, the Cattering Ram, this is the Crescent Vulpaphyla, and it was mostly just used for fun. But here is the build I did use in the footage. Now the only thing that here that is somewhat useful for its abilities is the Crescent Charge. And I would not call it useful. Like, it ruins your finisher stomach. This is more of like a meme companion, but it'll charge an enemy, knocking them over and making them lifted, and it'll also fling them and make them have puncture procs too. Really doesn't even matter. The big thing here is just it can hold Martyr Symbiosis, Tenacious Bond, and Reinforced Bond. That's literally it. The rest of the stuff I don't even care about. I guess Primal Instinct is pretty good too. And Fetch. And as far as the claws and the crest of Vulpaphyla, I don't think they were properly modded. It looks like they were properly modded, so there you go. Now, as far as Rhino, and if Rhino Heirloom is good and stuff, I think the skin looks pretty good, but it ain't no Ember Heirloom. Let's just put it like that. So, yeah, he didn't get buffed at all. He didn't get reworked. He just is the exact same as he was, like, before the skin came out, but also, he's a very... Nourished Rhino is a big, big damage buff. Massive viral damage buff. His roar buff is crazy good. You could jam more strength than I have, too, if you wanted. I've got, like, 339% strength before augmented. You could definitely jam more than that if you want a stronger roar or a stronger whatever, you know, like stronger nourish even. Wrathful Advance is very good, but the thing about that is that the energy economy is definitely much, much worse. If you care about that, that is. For me, I like the comfort of Nourish. I like the fact that Nourish buffs all my weapons, not just my Magistar. So the flexibility is there to, like, you know, get my Nukor viral procs, get my Boltor viral procs with the blast. It could help a lot, but yeah, if you want to go full, like, melee only, just unequip the guns, and then just do Magistar only with Wrathful Advance, and you will one-shot these guys, like, 3 times over, so... Yeah, that's basically it for the video, guys. Hope you find it fun and helpful. There's not too much stuff to say with Rhino. I helmet off his first ability on the Nourish build, and his 4th ability on the Wrathful Advance build, but you could helmet off his first ability on the Wrathful Advance build, too. It doesn't really make much of a difference, so... Yeah, Parasitic Armor is a big overguard number as well, but for this one, you're going to be recasting overguard somewhat often because enemies do break it really, really fast. Even if you had, like, you know, multi-million overguard, enemies at this level do break that stuff really, really quickly. So, yeah, still cool. So I'll see you guys next video. We'll have a Lavos video tomorrow probably, and a Cedo video the next day. Lavos probably released at, like, probably 11 a.m., and I'll see you guys there on the live stream. Take it easy, guys. Peace.